when you do find yourself being very, very attracted to men who embody toxic masculine principles, it's because you've got a wound in your field that you haven't healed yet. So you're still in your toxic or your wounded feminine. So you have to heal and reintegrate that wound. And that man is just a messenger to keep triggering that trauma that you experienced maybe as a child, or maybe it's ancestral, a belief system maybe. He's here as a messenger to show you your belief systems about the masculine so that you can heal and reintegrate it and then move on to better things. Okay, hey, Soul Fam, Sundial from Substance Over Style. So, I wanted to continue on from my last video talking about the DM, the Divine Masculine. Let me just switch this up a little bit. No, that's the wrong way. Yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of videos filming at night, so just trying to play with the light. Yeah, okay, so the last video where I was talking about the Divine Masculine coming online and how I'd seen all these amazing examples of Divine Masculinity, just like, you know, just people like the tattoo shop owner in Bristol, and like, you know, all these gym owners who are kind of staying open, you know, and have campaigned to like be an essential business or whatever it was. I wasn't following it too closely. I was following the tattoo shop Aaron Walton Create closely. Yeah, so it's just been like amazing to see how much Divine Masculine awakening is happening in the collective right now. But I wanted to kind of speak to what I started talking about the lower masculine codes falling away, because that's a natural consequence of Divine Masculine coming online, is that the lower masculine or the wounded masculine or the toxic masculine is going to get purged out. So what is that? Like, that's basically all the distortions around, you know, being a narcissist, being controlling, being domineering, using money to manipulate, you know, siphoning feminine energy. So, you know, trying to get as many women as possible without any intention of loving or devoting himself to her, just trying to siphon her sexual energy to boost up his own self-esteem. These are all examples of toxic masculine. Now, the reason why so much toxic masculine has been running the show and has been so prevalent in our society is because of so many people being in wounded feminine. I talked about that in my video, The Wounded Feminine and the Virus in Her Crown. So when the feminine collective is in a state of deep pain, and trauma, ancestral trauma that has come through the generations, our mothers, our grandmothers, implanted various belief systems in women specifically about men and who they are and how to deal with them and what you need to do, and, you know, the feminist movement, and, you know, you don't rely on them, So now we have a collective of women who are operating from their masculine energy. Now, why is that? Because they don't feel safe, they don't trust the masculine anymore, so they have basically become, they've replaced him. Like they've actually started to emulate the toxic masculine, because that's what had power in the world before. So they think that that's the way to get power, by emulating that. Now, the way that you actually, we can actually support this transition of, you know, purging out these lower masculine codes, and the way that we do it is by, as women, from operating in, I mean, you don't even have to be a woman, but if you're somebody who kind of resonates more with of being feminine energy, so you can be any gender or whatever, but it's usually women, right? By embodying your own divine femininity, in that you embody more of the feminine traits, but they're integrated with your own masculine, your internal masculine. So you basically hold the inner king, the God within. And to do this, you do have to connect to God. You connect to God, and, you know, you trust that God is going to provide for you. You obviously provide for yourself, you know, you work your mission and you lead yourself forward, but you have your own masculine energy integrated. And I'm going to tell you about a very interesting thing that happened with one of my, she's a friend, but I also coach her, and before I started taking on paid clients, she was one of my first clients. She's just a very good friend who, you know, I've been able to help with a lot of her problems, and she was continuing to attract a lot of toxic masculine into her field. And I just said, listen, babe, like, you are in very wounded feminine energy, and that's why you keep on attracting these guys, or that's why you keep on choosing these guys, because you're externalizing your own masculine. So either you get guys who are in, well, they'll be polarized in both ways. They'll be, their own feminine energy will be wounded, so they'll have this like, I'm a victim and and be manipulative. But they'll also have an external masculine shell, so they'll be narcissistic. They will use her without devotion, without commitment, and just not show up and meet her needs. And the reason why is because she lacks masculine integration, and she seeks the external masculine to provide for her. That's her main issue, actually. So I said you need to integrate your own masculine energy, provide for yourself, and establish structure in your own life so that you're not dependent on these guys to provide for you, and you don't have to put up with all of their toxic bullshit. This is what I said to her, right? And I said, and by that way you could leave energetic space, because you're no longer dependent on them, because you have your own provision. You leave that space open for a man who has king codes, so a man who's in his divine masculine. And she was just like, but there are so few guys, there are no guys who are like that. The reason why, this is the belief system that traps a lot of women, believing that there are not guys who embody divine masculine. There are not guys who embody divine masculine because you yourself are not embodying divine feminine, and so you're not holding your standards of what you expect from a man. And men will be as good or as bad as you allow them to be. That is just how it works. Like, if you don't establish standards of behavior of what you will and you won't tolerate, then they will do what they can get away with. It's us that hold the standard, and this is something that, you know, not enough people understand. I wish that they did. I wish I didn't have to say this, because it should just be obvious, but I don't think it is obvious to a lot of people. And I think it is I've noticed that a lot of people tend to find it controversial as well, because they think that, like, I'm somehow blaming women for you know, men being the way that they are. I'm not blaming women. I'm just saying that women have a lot more power than they realize, and it's in what they allow into their bodies and into their energy field. So watch my video on the law of repulsion, which is, you know, how you can really magnetize things to you by being able to say no to what you don't want. So when you actually hold your inner king, and you understand what the divine masculine is, and you refuse to settle for anything less. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about you being perfect or the man being perfect either. So these are like nuances that need to also be taken into consideration. But you know how you expect to be treated, and you know that you deserve that. Men will have to conform, and you will literally become, lower masculine energy will literally be repelled from your field. Either they will be repelled by you because they know that they cannot conform to your standards, or you just won't entertain them, and you won't be attracted to that. You literally won't be attracted to it. When you do find yourself being very, very attracted to men who embody toxic masculine principles, it's because you've got a wound in your field that you haven't healed yet. So you're still in your toxic or your wounded feminine, so you have to heal and reintegrate that wound. And that man is just a messenger to keep triggering that trauma that you experienced, maybe as a child, or maybe it's ancestral, a belief system maybe. He's here as a messenger to show you your belief systems about the masculine, so that you can heal and reintegrate it and then move on to better things. So once I told her, listen, once you have your own integration and you have your beliefs that this exists, you don't need loads of different guys to choose from that embody these traits. You only need one. you know, like, unless you want to be polyamorous. But personally, I think polyamory is not, it's not a hierogamic template, let's just put it that way. So you only need one. And so she was just like, okay, right. So she went away, and I noticed that, you know, she was doing some work on herself or whatever. She went and did whatever she was doing. And next thing I've heard from her is she's met this amazing guy who's like, you know, just got all these wonderful qualities and has his shit together and is a really good man and he's not a piece of shit and da-da-da-da-da. So that's what will happen. Like, as soon as you start, and I've noticed it as well, like, as soon as you transform your belief, then the external world will show you. Sometimes it's instant. Like, it won't necessarily be like a man who will come and want to then be in a relationship with you, but you will start seeing it around you. Like, you will start seeing examples of that in, you know, the men that you encounter on the street or at work or picking up the kids or on your news feed or on your Instagram feed. You'll start to see that. Try it. Honestly, try it and see if it works. Like, you hold the standard, and when so many women collectively start doing the work to heal and integrate their energies and raise themselves up to a higher standard, knowing that that standard is possible, we will see such an incredible shift in divine masculine that, you know, there will be so many. Like, there will be so many. I mean, I've already started to see so many of them coming online in my own reality. So I know it's possible for you too. So yeah, that's it. That's all I want to talk about in this video. I think that was quite a quick one. But yeah, the next one is going to be Dark Night of the Soul. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment box below. If you want to book a session with me, DM me on Instagram. That's how I'm booking my sessions. Join my Kriya membership. It will help you balance these energies so that you can become self-realized and sovereign and step into your divine masculine or your divine feminine, or both, because you need both, right, to be either. So yeah, I will love you and leave you. Peace out, soul fam. One love.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance, like marijuana or something, well, you know, it's an altogether new thing.